Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be going over how to get high kill solo wins consistently in Warzone. Pretty much everybody knows with BRs at this point, if all you want to do is win, you just need to play super passive, hide, and avoid fighting. If you want to get a lot of kills, you got to push everything and you're not really going to win consistently. In this video, I'm going to do my best to try to explain how you can kind of maximize kills and winning games at the same time to be able to get high kill games on average. If you guys do enjoy this video, please do remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below what you thought of this. I am going to be focusing mainly on solos for this video because it is what I mostly play, but if you play the other modes, most of this could still be applied because a lot of it is just like things in principle. So don't worry if you mainly play duos, trios, or quads. So the first thing we're going to go over is where you land. I would recommend landing somewhere with like medium population if you want to get good kill games consistently. If all you want to do is get as many kills as possible and you don't care how many games it takes you to get a high kill game, go Superstore. It's pretty RNG, but you can come out of there with a lot of kills. It could also go pretty bad for you. That's why it's not as consistent. Some spots that I like to go to are Train Station, Quarry, and Boneyard, just depending on whichever one of these has good buy stations or is good for the plane, whatever. And a lot of these spots can be decently populated if they're early, but they also have good points to rotate to afterwards, which is what makes them pretty good. Train Station, for example, I usually get like 1 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 kills there if it's really packed. And then afterwards, you can rotate to Boneyard, you can rotate to Apartments, and between Train and Superstore, those are usually pretty populated, or Promenade. It has a lot of different options of where you could rotate to, just depending on how the game is playing out, and that's what makes it consistent. What I typically do is I loot my spot, get a loadout as fast as I can. I get an overkill loadout, that way I can have 2 primary weapons. And then I'm going to get Ghost from the free loadout that comes in first zone. And I'm pretty much going to play like a maniac and push everything until 3rd or 4th zone. So this is where things can get pretty bad. Like, you're gonna die sometimes if you play aggressive, but that's just how it is. If you want to get kills, you have to play aggressive sometimes, and if you're someone who's not accustomed to playing aggressive and getting kills, I would just recommend playing aggressive, forcing yourself to get in those fights, and then get comfortable with those situations. If you don't push the limits of what you can do in game, you're never gonna get better. And so if you just find yourself camping all the time, just waiting for zone, you're likely not going to improve, and you're not just going to magically start dropping high kill games. If all you want to do is win, that works. I would argue that it still is inconsistent because you're not actually getting better at gunfights, and eventually you're going to have to win fights, you know? But if you want to get high kill games consistently, you're going to have to push yourself. And like I said, I play pretty aggressive until 3rd or 4th zone. I'm just going to be doing bounties and buying UAVs. I pretty much always buy a UAV, call it, and then buy another one, so I have an extra one in my pocket, and then just run around in a car with a trophy system on it, obviously, as you'll see in the gameplay, and just rush around getting as many kills as you can, doing as many bounties as you can because you want to get that money up. That way you can spam UAVs and find more players. If I have an absurd amount of money, I'll go for the advanced, but I tend to just buy one, use it, and then hold another one in my pocket. That way we can stretch out how like long UAV coverage that we have. Once we get to 4th or 3rd zone, I try to do recons to see 5th zone. So if you're in 3rd zone and things are dying down, like you have a pretty dead lobby or whatever, then I'll do 2 recons. If I'm still able to play aggressive, there's a good amount of players I can find in 3rd zone. It really just depends on where the players are at. If there's nobody in the area I want to go to, like let's say for example the zone involves downtown. I don't really like fighting downtown. I feel like it's often takes way too long to get 1 kill. Because of like all the buildings that people can play in, you know, and then you're also really likely to get third-partied because of how much time you're having to invest in like getting somebody off of a rooftop. So if it seems like everybody's in downtown, then maybe I'll do my recons in 3rd zone. But if I'm enjoying the zone that we have, I might wait until 4th zone to do the recons. And the reason why I want to see 5th zone is that it's usually small enough to where I can see how the late game is going to play out, and I have a better idea of what side of the zone to play. Going from 4th to 5th, the zone gets much smaller, it seems, than like any other shift in zone. You can do extras to see 6th or 7th potentially if you really want to. It really just comes down to how much time you have. I've had games where like I'm on dead side for whatever reason and I don't want to push the side where the players are, so I just end up doing extra recons. Or maybe the zone is in such an area where like you would have to cross a wide open area depending on how it goes. Maybe then I would do a recon in C6 zone, but usually 5th zone is just fine. It really depends on you and how comfortable you are playing late game. but fifth zone is usually enough for me to understand how I want to play the game and where I want to play in the zone. So once you do your recons, you see fifth zone. You can still push people, or you could just play for late game. It really depends how the zone is. But this late into the game, we have a much smaller play area, so the odds of you getting third-partied is much higher, especially if you have a really populated game. If for whatever reason there's heck of people in your lobby, you can play a bit more passive because the odds of you getting third-partied is really, really high. If you have like a 10 people third zone, then they can still be spread out enough to where you're not just going to be getting third-party sniped. But third parties are really detrimental in solos, and you want to avoid that as much as you can. You want to not deal with that, obviously, because you don't have teammates. If you get downed, you're probably going to die. Even if you have self-res, it's very oftentimes you just get thirsted. Third parties are really dangerous in solos, and third-party snipers are also really dangerous. So you don't want to be fighting for any prolonged period of time, and that especially goes for late game. Once you get into like 5th, 6th, 7th, the moving zone, any fight you take is potentially detrimental. You want to fight as little as possible. You'll see this game here. I'm in, like, we're in an area around lumber, and I end up just waiting, and I want to get these kills. I don't like waiting, but this zone is so open and everyone's just hiding that the player who strikes first often ends up getting killed. So know when to like play back and play more defensive and just play for the third party. I hate playing like that. I hate just like waiting for other people to fight, but sometimes it's how it's got to work. And if you want to win consistently, like I said, this video is about getting kills and winning consistently. We're going to try to get a majority of our kills prior to fourth zone. Like I said, that's when we do our recons, and that's when we end up playing for late game, is around third or fourth zone, just depending on how the game is going. Up until then, you want to get a majority of your kills early to mid game. That way you can play more passive late game and still end with a decent score, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to let this gameplay finish out. I actually do a decent job of explaining what I'm doing in game, and you guys can watch it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Remember to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you guys another time. Thanks for watching. But he's using like a floor loot gun this late in the game.
Relocating.
Or he's intentionally using an unsilent weapon. I'm guessing he went that way. I don't think there's two people using unsilent weapons. I don't know. I think this is one of these zones. Yo, what's good, Josue? Gonna lay down and pray? Like, hope for the best here?
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
I feel like a zone like this, the longer you go without fighting, the better. Because there's not very much good cover. Once you give away your position, kind of fucked.
Repositioning.
Marking that just so I can see, like, on the ground physically where the zone is. Like, marking zone is pretty nice in this game.
Gas is closing in.
Repositioning.
That's in zone. Alright, we're in here. Of course, I'm getting shot and I can't move because of a fucking tree stump. Nice, he got traded. That's good. Dude, this stump is so annoying. This one right here.
You've got gas inbound.
Fuck you.
Safe zone relocated.
Nice.
Never stood a chance.
I could have let that guy self-res to get the win, or to get an extra kill. I would have had 17 instead of 16 there. But, I'd rather just end it because moving was so far away.